Hey guys, welcome to the show, the Wedding Reporter podcast. And today we have Zachary Reality. I'm so excited to chat with him. I've been following him for so long. And today we are going to chat about celebrity weddings and we're recapping summer 2025. There were so many great weddings and we chose 4 of them to break down for you today. And we are going to start off talking about Brody Jenner's wedding to Tia Blanco. We're also going to chat about Hannah Brown and Adam Woolard's wedding, Mel B and Rory McPhee, and then also capping it off with the Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez wedding because we definitely need to talk about that one. So let me go ahead and just read Zachary's bio. Zachary Reality is an online content creator and entertainment host. You may know him from TikTok or the hottest reality TV red carpets. Zachary is a redhead, and he got that from his grandma, who also introduced him to Survivor. Zachary loves ping pong, tennis, and volleyball, and he is a child of divorce and moved to Los Angeles from New York 6 years ago to search for his independence. So welcome to the show, Zachary.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat all these weddings. I followed them all summer, and I'm excited to hear your opinion and kind of get that back and forth.
Oh my gosh, totally. It's going to be so fun. So let's kick it off. Let's talk about Brody Jenner and Tia Blanco's wedding. They got married at their Malibu home on July 12th. And was there anything that really stuck out to you there?
I mean, I'm not surprised that they got married in Malibu.
Right.
I think the most surprising thing is that Brody Jenner got married. I mean, he is 42, she is 28, so there is a bit of an age gap, not too much. But Brody Jenner was always this, I don't want to call him a playboy, but he was always a single guy, super good looking, lived his best life. And it took him a while to really settle down. And it seemed like there was a little bit of drama in his past with his last relationship. So this just feels more fresh and new. And I'm excited to see what is in store for him because I feel like he finally got the family and maybe that he's always wanted.
I know, that is so true. Yeah. And just from him being on the hills and everything, and just like being that kind of playboy, like you said. And yeah, it's fun to just see him settling down. And their daughter, Honey, was there, which was so precious as like the flower girl. And really cool that I feel like Tia kind of like, since she's a surfer, like gives him more of these like laid back vibes and kind of brings that to their relationship. And so it's cool to just see them have like a wedding in their home to kind of like stick with those vibes as well. So I thought that was really cool.
I mean, Brody's such a Malibu guy. That's where he
I
grew
know.
up. His
Yeah.
first show was like The Princes of Malibu. He's
Oh
just
my
literally
gosh, I
Malibu
forgot
born
about
and
that.
bred. But I also just remember he was married before. He was married to Caitlyn
That's
Carter.
right. Oh
They were
my
married for
gosh.
6 years, but they didn't have a legal marriage. It was truly just a wedding and like a union.
Oh.
They never like signed the documents, to my understanding.
Oh my
So
gosh.
when they split up, it was actually like really amicable. She was on the show for a bit when they did the Hills reboot, so they kind of talked a little bit about their relationship then. And after they broke up, she ended up dating Miley Cyrus for a few months.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Wow. That was that breakup and relationship. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. That brings a whole nother layer to this.
I
That's,
know.
yeah, it really does. Yeah, I think also like their daughter's name is Honey, and they kind of use that as the theme throughout their wedding too. Like they had these like really gorgeous like sage greens happening and then like golds to really bring in that honey vibe. I saw that they also had like these glass jars filled with like local honey as favors, and they were like in the shape of a bear and everything. So I thought that was really cool to just like go off of that theme. It just seems like very like homegrown.
For sure. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
also really interested in the guest list because Spencer
Same.
Pratt, one of his longtime friends, did not attend. Neither did Kylie or Kendall Jenner, his half
Yeah.
sisters. Now, the reason Spencer did not attend is actually because Heidi, Spencer's wife, her sister, Holly, was getting married the same weekend. So there
Yeah.
actually is no bad blood between Spencer and Brody. They have been friends since they were 13. But as
Good.
far as his other two half sisters, Kendall and Kylie, who they share with dad, Caitlyn Jenner, who was at the wedding. He posed with Linda Thompson, Caitlyn, and Brody all posed with Tia, so they look amazing. But Kendall and Kylie didn't go, and I was wondering if you had any thoughts about this.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. Like someone so close in your family just not attending your wedding. And yeah, I was like, is there any bad blood there? Like, what was going on? Did they have something else scheduled around that same weekend? I
Mm.
know we did see that, a lot of the Jenners and Kardashians were at another wedding we were about to talk about in Venice, but that did not crisscross or coincide with each other. So it's a mystery to me. What do you think?
I definitely think the wedding was pretty small. Do we know how many people are at this wedding? Doesn't say.
Yeah, it didn't really say in some of the research that I was doing, but it did seem very fairly small, especially with it being at their home.
Yeah, I'd probably guess between 30 and 40 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Brody loves to throw a good party, so I'm sure the after party was lit at the home.
Oh
But I
yeah.
think that here we can see him behind the DJ booth. I think maybe they're just not as
Yeah.
close as they used to be anymore. The
Mhm.
divorce was messy between Caitlyn and Chris. We saw it on the Kardashians.
Mhm.
It did last for years, and obviously a lot of the mess they kept more private to protect the family. So I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if there was some sort of rift between Brody and the sisters. I can't imagine them like hating each other, but maybe they just thought it's better to kind of go their separate ways with certain things. And I do remember one time Brody was saying that he never gets to go on Kylie's private jet. That was once a
Mm,
headline. So, like from watching the show, I'm sure that they're on good terms, but they're probably just not super involved in each other's life.
that's true. Yeah. And that's really what I like to preach about weddings too, is that it's like invite your closest friends and family. Like if they didn't congratulate you or if you haven't seen them in over a year, like there has to be some point in your guest list that you are crossing people off. And maybe even though they're such close family, maybe they're not as close as we might think. And so
Mhm.
that could be it. I saw that Common Kings is their favorite band, and they were invited to play at the reception, which is really cool. They also walked into Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten, which is
Mhm.
amazing because that is the Hills theme song. And so it's kind of fun to just see Brody really embrace like his pastime on the hills and to really like incorporate that into his wedding too. Because I don't know, sometimes with reality celebrities who have been like that's how they kind of like got their fame. You're like, do they still, you know, want to add a nod to that in their everyday life today? Or is that something that they just want to leave in the past? And so it was kind of cool that he resurrected that.
No, I love it too. I think that weddings are about you. It's like such a celebration of life, and this is such a big deal. So I really feel like it makes a lot of sense that that song that's so significant in his life would be one of the key songs throughout the night. I think this wedding seems just so them. I mean, even Tia being a surfer, as we were talking about earlier, like Brody is like born and bred Malibu. So it seems like he found his perfect match and that they do have this beautiful family. And as you mentioned, the theme was about honeys. And I'm reading here that they did have honeycomb lanterns where they dined on a delicious meal illuminated by flickering candlelight and prepared gourmet chef food. So they just
Gorgeous.
like, it seems like they just had such a fun party and that it was really their closest family and friends. And I totally agree with you earlier when you said weddings should only be about the people you're really close to because you're spending a lot of money. This is the most important day of your life or one of them. You don't want any bad juju there. You don't want anyone there who you have unresolved issues with or weird tension. It doesn't matter any legalities of how you know them or how you're related to them. Your wedding should only be about the people that matter most to you.
Mm-hmm. So true. Love that. All right. I think we kind of capped it off with Brody and Tia's wedding. It looked beautiful. She looked beautiful. Loved her corset dress and everything. But now let's move on to Hannah Brown and Adam Woolard's wedding. I have been anticipating this wedding for so long. Hannah came on my podcast. I interviewed her back in March to chat all about her engagement and her wedding plans. And so I was just like chomping at the bit of like, okay, when are the images going to be released? What did they do? And so she got married to Adam Woolard in the south of France. They had about 101 guests. This was on July 26th. Um, let's chat about this wedding. Anything that sticks out to you, Zachary?
Oh my God, this wedding is so fabulous. I really loved her dress. I think it was so gorgeous and so perfect for her. She looked like a princess. I really think she found her perfect man, Adam. And a lot of us have been invested in Hannah after watching her on The Bachelorette and dating shows. We always wanted her to find her perfect person. So it seems like she found the best guy. She got married in a beautiful place in France, and it seemed like everything went the way that she wanted it to, and it was extremely elegant. And I'm kind of wondering, since you had her on your podcast, is
Mm-hmm.
this the wedding that she described? Any
Mm-hmm.
surprises?
Yeah, so when I chatted with her, I was trying to like dig in and ask her more of the details. I was like, "What's the color scheme, Hannah?" And she was
Mm,
like, "I don't really have a color scheme. I'm really leaving most of the wedding planning up to my wedding planner and letting her surprise me." And I was like, "Wow, to like really relinquish all of that, responsibility onto your wedding planner for like the biggest day of your life and to just truly trust your wedding planner to do all of this for you was pretty awesome." So, and maybe she said that because she wanted to keep a lot of it a secret too, but building up to this wedding, she was so incredibly busy. Like, she had her book release, she was doing Bachelor in Paradise, she was filming it and planning her wedding, like doing a book tour, like all these things. And all the press she did was crazy leading up to the wedding. So she just had to be exhausted leading up to this. So I kind of get how she would like let a lot of those details just kind of fall onto her planner to plan the wedding.
Also, it adds less stress for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's her party. So why
Right.
should she have to, figure out all those nitty gritty details? I do feel like a color scheme is kind of important. And maybe
Right.
she should have a say in that. But I definitely think you're hiring a wedding planner for a reason. So let them take the
Mm-hmm.
reins and really bring your vision to life, and you relax because it's your special day. And it seems like Hannah was in pure bliss. She was able to
Mm-hmm.
show up. She had a lot of great friends around her. They did have a beautiful color scheme, and me and my friend were talking about it because usually the bridesmaids will all wear the same color. But her
Right.
bridesmaids were wearing like all these pretty dresses from Show Me Your Moo. There was like yellow
Mm-hmm.
and green, just like neutral, colorful tones. So it looked amazing. One qualm I do have is that there was only one person from Bachelor Nation there, which is her friend Heather Martin from Matt James's
Yeah.
season and was also on Colton's season first. I would have liked to see a few more Bachelor people there. Obviously, like, we can't control her guest list, but I do think one of the
Right.
fun parts about Bachelor Nation weddings is seeing the group of people and the couples that show up.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And, I did ask her too if she had still watches the show, and she said she hadn't really. So it's almost like she had removed herself from it in a way, although she did come back for Paradise. And she did keep it to only 101 guests. And so, Heather is one of her BFFs. And she did tell me, because I asked her, like, who are we going to see at your wedding? And she did say Heather would be there by her side, but really didn't disclose anybody else. And so, yeah, maybe a lot of that is family. Maybe they have bigger families and really kept it to a lot of their close and more tight knit friends too.
Yeah, and I mean, also, like, maybe like she was on one season, right? She did
Mm-hmm.
Colton's season of The Bachelor, and she was close with like Hannah G at one point, and Demi and Katie. She had a little bit of a feud with Kaylin, who was from the pageant world. Tasha was on
That's
that
right.
season, and Cassie. So I mean, a lot of these girls are all dynamic and independent women. So maybe she just doesn't stay as close with them as she does with Heather. And then we also knew she was close with Tyler Cameron at one point, but
Right.
and Matt James as well. So maybe she didn't really hang out with too many people from Bachelor after she left the show. Her coming back to Paradise feels like it felt random, honestly.
It
She's a
really
really
did.
she's a popular name, like she's the queen, like of she's the Taylor Swift of
Right.
Bachelor Nation.
Exactly.
But she really isn't involved in any of these people's lives, and I don't think she's invested in the show and in the couples. And honestly, she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't done anything this season on Paradise. She hasn't given anyone advice. She's just been a friendly, smiley face. So her coming back just felt random, but I do respect her for getting that paycheck.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I know. I was like, I secretly want to ask you what you think about Bachelor in Paradise right now with all the changes and things. But like,
She doesn't care. I
yeah,
don't think she cares.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of, and I could tell in some of the interviews she's had recently where people are asking her how it went, and she was like, I felt very like removed from, the rest of the cast, and didn't it seemed like she didn't know where to find her place in like the filming of the show.
And
And
like,
I don't know if production did either though.
As long as she got paid and had that free
Right.
vacation, you don't need to do anything, Hannah, but show up. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think she had to try too hard. She didn't have to get involved if she didn't want to. Like, I think that the show probably maybe could incorporate her to the second half of the season since they're now going to be doing challenges. So maybe she can host some challenges with Jesse Palmer and step more into a hosting role. But I don't really think she's necessary in whatever PR relations, paradise relations that they're saying she's doing. And also, apparently, she has this champagne room in Bachelor in Paradise, which has yet to be seen. There's been
Right. We
5
haven't seen
episodes
it.
out. Where is the champagne room? So,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of Paradise, I think getting back to the wedding, it's
Yeah.
bougie. I mean, can you
Mm-hmm.
tell us about maybe the music or the food or just some of the
Oh,
decor?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it all kind of started with a welcome party in Nice, and it seemed like that was more of like a beachy vibe where, she told her guests to have more of like an elevated beachy look to it, but then her wedding seemed to be very upscale, more her dress was pretty like traditional A-line ball gown
Mm-hmm.
sort of a dress. I really liked I don't know if you saw these videos that she did with Adam leading up to her wedding, but they're really cute where she would show him photos of dresses that she had tried on previously and he would rate the dresses. And most of the dresses she was trying on were A-line. And so I was like, I feel like she's got to be going with A-line. That silhouette just looks really great on her. And she did. It was a strapless A-line, very elegant. It looked like it had some petals kind of like leading into this like very tulle princessy skirt, which is so her, very just like kind of southern charm. And I think the setting of like southern France sort of like lent itself to that too. Her like the chairs that she used at her reception were kind of like those wiry chairs, but then they had these like sort of ornate details in all white on it. And so, it kind of just lent itself to that like charming aspect that we know as Hannah Brown, which is cool. Um,
I mean,
yeah,
so far, this is my favorite out
I
of the
know.
two.
It's
We'll talk about all four. I mean, I think this might be
right.
my favorite of the four, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is the most dream picture perfect wedding. I mean, the south of France, bougie, food, views, water. I'm sure that weather was amazing. This
Oh
is
yeah.
just a fairy tale dream. I actually wish that she shared more pictures.
I know. I wish she did too. They did do a little exit on a Mercedes Gazelle, which was so cute, where they're both just like sitting in the back of the convertible and waving and has the car all decorated. Really just loved this wedding as well. It didn't seem like overbearing where there's too many guests. They kept it simple to 100 guests, but still did the destination wedding. And then at that point, you're able to spend more of your budget and go more all out on the decor and the place settings and the food and things like that. And it's really interesting because a lot of times destination weddings are actually a lot cheaper than getting married in the States,
I
which is
believe it.
interesting. But yeah, I guess just exchange rates and things like that. But also, if you have guests staying at the resort, they're typically the ones paying for your wedding. If they're booking a room at the resort, it kind of pays for itself. And so I
And it's
love
an
all these
experience.
overseas.
I
I know it
prefer the
really
destination
is.
wedding. I
So
mean, two
cool.
very different weddings here. Brody doing it in his hometown at his house, Hannah bringing 100 of her people to the other side of the world. Two very different weddings, but ultimately people need to do what is best for them. And one thing we do need to talk about is that she and Adam, they were not living together about 6 months leading up to the wedding because of their faith. I think that they were withholding from having sex, like born again virgin vibes. So they did end up buying a house together. And now, after they get back from their honeymoon in Croatia, which is also a great idea to go on a honeymoon right after the wedding, in my opinion, versus like waiting a few months or a year, but everyone's budgets are
Mm-hmm.
differently. But now they're going to be moving into a house together, and I don't know, they'll be starting a family soon. I would definitely expect that.
Yeah, I'd imagine that too. Yeah, and I did ask her about the living separately when we spoke. And yeah, she did go into it a little bit, just saying that they both kind of had it on their hearts that that was something that they felt they needed to do. Even though when I was interviewing her, she was at her home and she's like, yeah, Adam's right in the next room right there. We're not married yet, but he comes over and does work from home, and I do work from home in another room. And so it's like, they're not completely separate, but they have just decided to make that decision leading up to their wedding, which I think makes it a little exciting. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I think what makes things exciting is when you don't sleep with your partner like the night before the wedding, or even like
Yeah.
even
Yes.
maybe 2 nights before to really.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally wouldn't do the whole 6 month thing. But to each their
Yeah.
own.
Oh, for sure. All right, let's chat about Mel B and Rory McPhee. Now, you might know Mel B. She is a Spice Girl. She is Scary Spice. And Rory McPhee is her hairstylist. So they got married on July 5th at the crypt at St. Paul's Cathedral in London.
And this is a little different because this is her third wedding. So
Mm-hmm.
she already has kids. She's already grown. She's 50, and her man is 37. And I'm a little shocked that she married her hairstylist. Are we sure that it's her hairstylist and not a hairstylist?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it said that they had met on the set of America's Got Talent and he was her hairstylist then. So,
Well, good
yeah.
for her for finding
I mean,
someone who is already accustomed to her lifestyle, used to being working with celebrities, so it's a lot easier for him to fall into her lap organically when she is
right.
such an A-list star and she has been for so many years. I mean, we're talking about a Spice Girl here. I do think he is a little young, but I think she's so youthful as well, and I think that she says this is the real deal this time, that her last two relationships did not end up in love and that this is love for her.
Yeah. And I think that's cool because she has, married people in Hollywood before and done that whole thing. And I mean, I guess you can technically say that her husband Rory is in Hollywood, but he is sort of a behind the scenes guy doing the hair and makeup, her hairstylist. So, um, yeah, like you said, for it to come up more organically, it's true love, which is great for them.
And now she has a hairstylist for life.
Exactly. Like, sign me up for that. That would be
I
amazing.
always think I'm like, what job, occupation do I want my man to do? Like, do I want to date a
Right?
chef so I can get fed? Do I want to date a pilot so he can fly me around the world?
Oh
I
my
mean, these are
gosh.
big decisions when you pick
Mm-hmm.
someone to marry because you're picking someone to spend the rest of your life with. So you want to pick someone that's going to add value to your life and it's going to be mutual respect and it's going to be true love.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's so funny how they word it as they got married in the crypt at St. Paul's Cathedral, but I mean, the whole cathedral is pretty much a crypt because there's just the graves and people buried kind of everywhere. But it was interesting. I saw they were permitted to wed there because she had an order from the British, I think it was from Prince William. Because of her speaking out on domestic violence issues, she kind of has a ranking in status, and is able to get married there and
Yeah,
has
because
permission to do that.
it's an exclusive place to get married, and you need to be
Mm-hmm.
somewhat of British royalty. And it's so crazy how there's all these rules in England that we don't have here in the States. They have a
Right.
lot of like hierarchy and a lot of superficialness and reputation. It's a little different the way that they do things over there. So obviously we know Mel B is the real deal. And I love that her daughters were her bridesmaids so that
I
they were
know.
really supportive of this decision. It sounds like she got her happily ever after as well.
Yeah, it really does. I loved her dress too. It was just like this long sleeve and it had just like all this beading right here and it kind of trickled down. And he wore a kilt, which is so fun. I love a kilt at a wedding. Like, let's spice it up a little bit. It's so good.
Literally.
So,
Her dress is different than
it
Hannah's and different
is.
than Tia's. I mean, we didn't talk too much about Tia's, but I mean, she's
Yeah,
doing something different here, Mel B, with all these beats. And I like it.
right. Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, a lot like, well, this next wedding that we're about to talk about and this wedding, it's interesting because they're summer weddings, yet they're long sleeve dresses. So I don't know. I'm wondering, like, and Mel being 50, like, I don't know. I mean, there's not a rule that, like, if you're over 50, you have to wear long sleeves. By no means, but it's just interesting that for summer weddings, they did choose long sleeves for this.
Yeah, but also like it seems like the sleeves are kind of it's like a light fabric.
Right.
I mean, I'm more shocked about how long her veil is. That veil is longer than the
Yeah.
gown.
I know. That's so true. I know. It definitely is a little more summery just because it is sheer. Like, it's not like Olivia Colpo last year where it was just like layers on layers, like in when she got married, August or July or something, and everyone was like, oh, so. But
I
it's
will,
like your day. Do what you want to do.
and I'm happy for Mel B, but I will say, like, this is maybe not a wedding that I would want to attend. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like a little bit very uptight. I would have to have good posture. And I
You're
don't know if I'd really
right.
be able to let loose and have a shot. Like, I feel like champagne only. I mean, there are a few
Right.
celebrity guests at this wedding, including Cara Delevingne, Catherine Ryan, Daisy Lowe. So it definitely felt bougie, sophisticated, and it seems like it was so her. I don't know if I would necessarily fit in at this wedding, though.
Yeah. I agree. It did seem like, yeah, they kept it a little smaller and, with it being her third wedding and everything, and with it being in the setting it was, St. Paul's Cathedral, like you said, you got to wear your buttons all the way up to here for the
Mhm.
wedding like that.
Yes.
So,
Not that we were even invited.
no, right?
But, I would say that this is probably my least favorite of the 4.
Mm-hmm. I
But no
agree.
shade. No shade at all.
Right. I know. She did what she did. Like, it's her day for
For
sure.
sure.
Okay, this was the Super Bowl of weddings. We need to talk about this. It happened about a month and a half ago, but we still need to be talking about it. It is Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding. If you don't know already, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon and Lauren is a businesswoman all on her own. This happened in Venice, Italy. They had between 200 and 250 guests. The cost of this wedding was approximately between 46 and 56 million dollars, which is about $50,000 per guest, which is crazy. All right. It
Whew.
happened on June 26th through 28th. They
Hmm.
pretty much shut the whole city of Venice down for this.
Well, they had to get married on like this island, like near Murano, which is like the side of Venice. And I do remember it was like raining the first day, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
went all out for this. I mean, and so did the press, the paparazzi. There was so many celebrity shots of the Kardashians, of Brooke Snyder, of Orlando Bloom. I mean, this was around the time of Katy Perry and Orlando's breakup, and Katy Perry couldn't
Right.
attend because she had a concert in Australia. There was a lot going on with pop culture and with the celebrity status of this wedding that I kind of felt like they were leaning into and kind of maybe only invited certain guests based on their celebrity status. Who knows? That was definitely a narrative. Overall, I do think it looked bougie and beautiful and it felt star studded, but it felt so Hollywood and maybe less authentic and less about the love that it kind of took away from, or maybe it didn't. Like, it just was a different vibe than some of these other weddings that we were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It did seem so showy, but like you said, that probably was because of all the paparazzi there. All of the hugest stars in the world were there. All the Kardashians were there. It was wild. And I mean, to be able to like get a peek behind the curtain as like what actually happened like during the reception and wedding, like, oh, that would have been amazing. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it was interesting the whole like, okay, Katy Perry went to space with Lauren, but like she
Hmm.
was not able to attend, yet Orlando Bloom was there. And so it's like, who were they schmoozing with? Like, Tom Brady was there. Like, who was talking to Sydney Sweeney? Like, that is really what the headlines were rather than, Lauren and Jeff's love story.
But also, I feel like the headlines really focused on the jewelry and the luxury of Lauren and the fashion of Lauren. I mean, you could go to this article in Vogue, and every single picture is Lauren. There's no Lauren and
Mm-hmm.
Jeff. So
Yeah.
that is what is so confusing about this wedding, is because I'd like to think that they're getting married because they're truly in love and that maybe they want to keep that private. This is not their first go around. They have kids, they've had previous marriages. It feels like something was just strange, but the way that they angled the paparazzi of it all and told the story publicly, that is just what felt inauthentic to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, like that whole Vogue article she did, it really was just about her and all her jewelry and all of her outfits and things like that, which like who doesn't love learning about that? But like really what is the true
The point
story
of
here?
this,
Like you're
because
saying, yeah, the
it's a
point
wedding, which is about
is
a
to
couple. Like, I love
uh
how beautiful she looked, and every outfit ate. And
Oh, yeah.
she looked amazing. Like, she's stunning. She's
Yes.
gorgeous. Every piece of jewelry that was designer was perfectly curated and great. Just was not, it was just different what the wedding was about.
Yeah. So, what did you think about her dress? It was a whole custom dress. It was a mermaid look. She wanted to, it says she was inspired by Sophia Loren in the film Houseboat. And then, yeah, she also took inspiration for her second look from Rita Hayworth in the film Gilda. I have not seen either of these films, but I trust that they were resembling each other.
It's classy. It's
It
chic. I mean, she did
is.
do the long sleeves as well and like a bow tie vibe, like a collared lace moment. I don't think I would wear it. I think it's her. And I think it's
Mhm.
stunning and elegant. And
Right.
I almost feel like the collared makes it like so formal and like less bride.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I mean, she was kind of getting a lot of flack for this on TikTok and Instagram. And it was like, people were like, mermaid, like, that's kind of old fashioned. Like, people don't really wear mermaid anymore. I mean, it's not like on trend currently, but she looked fabulous in it. Like, the corset, just like the shape of her body, it was like so tailored to her body so well. And I think the buttons just added like the surprise element to it because it was like all the way up and down, which was cool. um and yeah, she did her, and I think she looked fabulous. Let's
Mm.
talk about the carpet. This was a big theme, the carpet during their ceremony. It was a whole joke across the internet that it looked like it was bought from Amazon, and it was just kind of this stuffy, like, corporate center sort of carpet that they had. Like, why do you think they chose that?
Just for the shock value,
Yeah.
for the celebrity of it all, for the bouginess that they could add. I don't know what the why for a lot of things about this wedding.
Right. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
it's just really confusing to me. The more I think
Mm-hmm.
about this wedding, the more confused I am. And like, what's the update? Are they still married? Are they happy? Like, are they on their
Right.
honeymoon? You know, like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like these aren't like celebrities that we like follow, like they're influencers or they're on a reality show or
Mm-hmm.
they're actors. Like, this is truly just like social climbing and wealth to its finest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, with him being the CEO of Amazon, it's like, it's hard because he is so wealthy, like one of the wealthiest people in the entire world. And so everyone's going to have eyeballs on this wedding. And it's like, you're going to get judged no matter what. If you do it simple, people are going to be like, why didn't you go more all out on this or more fancy on this? And then if you go too fancy, people are going to be like, oh, this is capitalism at its finest, you know? And so I think they probably were trying to like tread this very fine line of like, let's have some Amazon elements. Like, I read that she gave her bridesmaids or guests in their gift bags like slippers from Amazon, which I think that's like a fun nod to it.
I
But
love
then there's,
Amazon.
I know, right?
I
Who
love
doesn't
it.
love Amazon? You get a delivery every day. It comes right to you, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then there's the flip side of the coin where I saw something posted where it was like, okay, in relative terms, with all of Jeff Bezos' wealth, how much would this wedding have truly cost like a normal person?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like so low, like what a normal person would spend on their wedding compared to his wealth, compared to what he spent on his wedding. And so it's like, this was a drop in the bucket for him based on how much money he truly has. And I also thought it was cool though that they tried to give back and asked for no gifts at this wedding because they truly wanted to support the culture in Venice. Do a
No,
lot
let's
of,
not give them
you
that
don't
much
think
credit.
so?
If they want to donate to a charity or set up a foundation where they could help other brides who can't afford dresses, No
Yeah.
gifts. No, no, no. I don't think we should give them any credit. I think they spent too much money on this wedding, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to have that much money, but like,
Yeah.
I would not be wasting it. Like, I think they put too much
Mm-hmm.
money into this. I think that there are so many people who need our help in the world. And if you really have that much money, like you can still be doing all the luxurious things and maybe giving
Mm-hmm.
back. And I'm sure he gives back. I mean, I don't follow them. Like,
Right.
I don't know much about their
Right.
personal
I
lives. And
know.
maybe that's why I felt less connected to this wedding. And maybe the overall
Mm-hmm.
fans did, is because like we don't know her personality and we don't know him, you know, like we know these other stars. So this wedding was
Right.
almost thrust upon us as like this elitist, wealthy wedding. And it just
Yeah.
makes me like confused on the overall subject.
Mm-hmm. No, I love what you said too about how, like, okay, they can give their own money to these charities. They are so wealthy that they can do this. They didn't have to have this big of a wedding. I really like that take on it. And yeah, even though it was a drop in the bucket for them, it's like they really didn't have to go all out. You have so many options for weddings. You can literally go to a courthouse and sign a piece of paper and have a witness and you're married. So just the scale, like you said, we don't really know them, but was the whole wedding a PR ploy? I don't know. It could have been.
It's definitely a fashion moment. I mean,
Oh
it's just
yeah.
every article, every picture is just Lauren doing this with her celebrity girlfriends in bougie places. So we
Mhm.
don't even know their dynamic as a couple.
Mhm. That's so
So I mean,
true.
I don't know. Do you think Lauren will go on a reality show? Because I feel like that's what is next.
I mean, it
Should she go
might
on The
be.
Traitors or should she go
Oh my
on
gosh.
Celebrity Apprentice?
Seriously, traders would be a good fit. I did see a rumor that Jeff was going to buy Vogue for Lauren to take over because Anna Wintour is
Oh,
stepping down. And I was like, if this is real, like her next move, is she really going to be that like powerhouse, like fashion
fashion.
influencer? I don't know if I see her in that role, but
Oh, well, you can't force a role just because you have money. You
no,
can't be,
exactly.
but I don't know. I don't know what Lauren's goals are
Yeah, same.
other
I
than to be
mean,
the most famous woman in the world.
yeah. Hopefully, hopefully they're just like basking in wedded bliss, despite all the protests that were happening in Venice about this wedding, and regardless of a lot of people's opinions and really what the public saw versus what actually happened there. I really wish the best for them, and yeah,
For
it's
sure.
it's interesting.
I mean, like, I hope that they're in love. I hope they're happy. And I hope that this
Mhm.
was the wedding of their dreams.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. Well, Zachary, this was so fun chatting all about these weddings. Any last thoughts or anything? I know you said Hannah and Adams was probably your favorite and the one that you would
Definitely.
want to attend.
Definitely. And I think it was fun to chat about all these weddings. I do a lot of wedding recaps on my TikTok,
Yes.
especially with like reality stars and Bachelor Nations. I'll usually go into like a People magazine article and find the best pictures and, you know, do like a 1.5 to 2 minute summary of a wedding. So it's been really fun to kind of dissect these and talk with you in a longer format. So I hope that
Yeah.
everybody who follows me on TikTok found me over here on this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Go and follow Zachary. He goes to all the fun events too. I was like, you go to like the whole like Netflix event and all these
Mhm.
things. I'm like, it's so fun to just see like how you've become a part of reality TV and been a reality TV staple because people want to know what you think about it, which is really fun. So maybe plug your podcast, tell us like where else we can find you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody just follow me on Zachary Reality. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. My podcast is all interviews. So I just interview people from Deal or No Deal Island, from traders. I also have a YouTube channel, like I said, where I do a lot of recaps for Bachelor in Paradise. I'm recapping Perfect Match right now on Netflix, which is so
Ooh.
juicy. And I'm going to be going to an event in a couple weeks for Brooke Snader's new show, Love Thy Nader, with Hulu and all the sisters. So I'll definitely be getting the tea there and chatting with all of them because that could be our new, you know, hot reality show in the fall. So I'm excited about that.
Ooh, that'll be good. I'll have to check that out for sure. Yeah. So stay tuned. Check out all of Zachary's podcasts and everything. He's always knows the inside scoop on all reality TV. So thank you so much for coming on today. This was so fun. I love just like chatting back and forth, hearing opinions, and just really like diving into these weddings. It's so fun. So
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
You too. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye. There you have it, another episode of the Wedding Reporter podcast. To see those gorgeous wedding and engagement photos, head over to NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more behind-the-scenes content. And if you like this episode, I would so appreciate it if you would rate and subscribe the show. See you next time for another great episode.